Good. Good to see you.
And Carolyn, I'm going to flip the computer so you can say hello to Carolyn.
Hi, Carol.
Hi, Carolyn.
How are you doing?
She's working the board, so she's behind the scenes, making sure that we go out on the air. Okay, Rick, why don't you introduce our guest?
I would love to. First of all, thank you for being on the show. It's an honor.
Thank you.
And a pleasure, and it's great to see you both.
Great to see you too.
It's good to see you guys.
I took the bio from your website, Chris, and I read it to the folks before you come on. So
okay.
Yeah, just so you know. And it's quite an impressive group of people you've played with.
Well, a lot of it was a fair time ago, you know. I mean, it was. But I always say to people, you can't really sort of do that now because you can't get, you know, so close to people as you could then.
Right.
You know, the days where he was in small clubs and the availability to speak to artists, musicians was relatively easy. Not like the security you have today, you know.
Right.
So, that was pretty... I didn't really think about it at the time because that's how it was. But, I met quite a few people. I had a fortune to play with one or two of them.
And you one of your first inspirations was a flamenco guitarist.
Yes, I'd be 4 or 5 years old when I first heard flamenco. Well, I suppose I heard it around then. And I remember asking my mum what this was, you know, and she sort of explained it to me. And I had a little guitar at the time, but I was just a toy thing, really. I actually, it was a bit of a con, really, because it had a little handle on the bottom, you know, and it would play a tune, and you could look like you were playing it. So it was pretty cool.
That's a great start.
But anyway, I heard this music and I was knocked out with it. And it was Manitas de Plata, actually. And I think around when I was about 5, I got a better guitar and tried to, by just listening, because the availability of videos and recorders, and so, well, there was recorders, but no videos as such at that time. So I had to sort of, you know, remember the sounds and try and emulate them best I could. And I didn't even know how to tune the guitar properly at the time. So I sort of had weird shapes to develop chords, and then later on I got a chord book, which I still have actually, and then tune the guitar to concert. So that was a big help.
So you've had a lifelong inspiration around music and musicians.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, from flamenco, which continuing with flamenco, I met a guy when I was about 23 who was a flamenco guitarist. And I learned more in the time that I was with him that I'd ever done. The techniques and the styles. And I think it was his brother-in-law that was an actual professional flamenco guitarist. And unfortunately, he was ill. But absolutely fabulous. He actually went to Spain to learn. But this guy taught me a lot of the different techniques and things. But if you don't keep it up, you know, you tend to lose certain. Well, definitely, if you don't keep up the thing called the tremolo, which is the finger style of the right hand, you know, to get the continuous sound, you have to keep that going as your fingers sort of lose it a little bit. I suppose. And then later years, you know, started hearing classical Indian music. I got into that. So I was always open to different sounds, and I love world music anyway. And so I was sort of influenced by that, and that sort of crept into my guitar work, I guess. Yeah. And then jazz and blues and rock and everything came. It was a natural progression, isn't it? You know, but, I suppose, of course, with the advent of Jimi Hendrix, and I was knocked out with that sound. Santana, Carlos Santana, and a few others. So
John McLaughlin, yeah.
Yeah, and John McLaughlin in the early 70s just blew me away. Still does, actually. So, you've got a whole span of different sounds, Weather Report and all that stuff. So there's lots of different styles that I was always interested in. I was never really satisfied with doing one particular style. It was, I remember I was in a blues band at one time. And,
okay. Is that the Chicago Blues Band?
No, it's another one. No. Yeah, I played with the Chicago, what do they call themselves? Chicago Climax Chicago Blues Band. They couldn't use, because there was a band in the States called Chicago, wasn't there?
Right, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so they couldn't just use that. So they had to stay with Chicago Blues Band. So I did a bit, stand in for them on occasion. But lots of bands. I mean, I played a lot with many bands, but I sort of get, I don't know, not tired, but want something else, than just playing one thing. Yeah.
Vivien, can you tell us a little bit about your musical background and how you progressed with songwriting? And
well, I guess I've sort of been singing since I was very small, like 3 years old. I'd be stood up to sing for people because I could. And just love to sing, basically. One of the happiest times of my life was sitting over this by the sea in Scotland with a cave behind me. The acoustics were perfect, and just singing on my own for hours. I was 7. But yeah, so it's something I just love to do. And yeah, I was very lucky when I started writing. Chris was there too, because I play guitar, but not very well. In fact, worse than not very well.
She has her own style of playing guitar.
Yeah, it's not very good.
You have to sort of work it out, what's happening.
Yeah,
and sort of decide.
Yeah. And he did just that. So he was able to take what I'd done and literally he didn't change my melodies in any way, and made them come alive for recording. So that was cool.
Thing is, with Viv's music, I mean, it's a different style completely than mine.
Yes. Yeah.
I only sort of 12, 14 years ago started writing songs myself. Don't particularly think I'm that brilliant songwriter, but I enjoy doing it, and the combination of the guitar solos in with the songs is
it's a lot of fun doing that.
Yeah,
we had huge fun.
So with Viv stuff, it was a good learning curve actually for me to write for a song. And
because you're a soloist, aren't you? And a soloist, it's improvisation. So I mean, Chris could play to anything. I mean, literally, you name it, Mozart. Jazz,
I got told off once for playing to Mozart.
But come along and say, "Oh, can you play this song?" And to know the chords, it's quite a different matter. And some people don't understand that. He can play the chords, but he wouldn't necessarily know what they are if he didn't know the song. And conversely, I've had people say, oh, I've written a song, and they present me with a load of chords, and I said, well, where's the melody? You understand me? You know, because there isn't a song, because they haven't written a melody. It's interesting.
Yeah.
Are you playing locally any place in public?
Not too much now. Here, I did enjoy doing the live concerts a few years back, and then, you know, I should have kept it going, really. We've actually been changing the studio around quite a bit.
Changes.
And making sure it's shifting gear around, literally.
Upgrade a lot of stuff.
So we've been changing things. I think we're getting there now.
Yeah.
So I've got, you know, there's a lot of ideas buzzing about. I do actually have a small portable recorder, digital thing, which is fantastic. It's like a notebook that I can put ideas down, you know, and then transport it to the main desk if I want to. But that's brilliant. So, you know, there's a lot of stuff which, again, it's sort of deciding what to do first. You know, I guess you think, oh, I should do a blues or a, you know, a melodic piece or an ethnic piece, or where to go. So it's just a case of getting started. Once you're kicked off, it's okay, because then you start building the track up. And
you just go with the flow.
You either work. I try to work quickly, get stuff down, but it just depends on the style you want to start with. So yeah, I'm hoping to kick off with some stuff. There's a lot of musicians here, so you know, there's a lot of music over here.
Yeah, may well do some live stuff, but
so I would like to. Yeah, I mean, when we
more videos, I think.
Yeah, when we was here before, I used to play in a club sort of every Friday, and there'd be all sorts of celebrity guys, musicians that would come down, and of course, one of the guys that was sort of resident there every Friday was Noel Redding, bass player with Hendrix. So I used to end up playing with him every Friday. Which was great. And he would play, he loved the old Beatles songs, particularly Lennon's stuff, you know, so we play a lot of Beatles stuff. I started playing a Hendrix song one night, and he said, you want to play that, you sing it. Well, I wasn't singing it at the time, so I sort of backed out of that.
Which was a great pity.
It's a shame. And I asked Noel, I wanted to do a blues album, and I asked him if he would do bass for me. He said straight away, no problem, he would, but unfortunately he passed.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that didn't happen.
I remember you telling me years ago, Chris, about you having an experience playing one of Jimmy's guitars.
Oh, yeah. That was actually at Noel's house.
You told me the song you were playing too. It was Rising Sun. Was that the one?
Yeah, well,
yes, that's right.
We went, he had a big house, Noel, and
Beautiful house.
really lovely place. And he said, just follow me, I want to show you something. And we went into one of the rooms at the front of the house, and it's full of gear. I mean, literally, you had to step around it. And even the old Marshall stacks that he used to use with Jimmy still got the Jimi Hendrix, you know, logos on the side. And he said, "Open that case there." I said, "Okay." And I opened it, and it was a Martin acoustic guitar that had actually been strung back to right-handed, because Noel had obviously been playing it. But it was Jimmy's. And I said, I can't, you know, try it, sure, pick it up, you know. And I tuned it up, and I just started playing New Rising Sun. Don't ask me why, but I just kicked up. I hadn't played it for years, that song. And he asked me why I did that, why I played that. I said, I don't really know. It just seemed that's what came in.
I was there. It was very special.
Yeah, so
Really special.
you could see on the fretboard, you could see the wear on the other side of the fretboard where Hendrix had played it with his left, playing left-handed.
Yeah.
So you could, when you held it up to the light, you could see down the fretboard and say, "Oh yeah, it's definitely a left-handed guitarist."
Yeah.
So,
No, it's a nice guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was.
So it was a good experience. We looked at a lot of kit that they used. There was even an old drum set there of Mitch Mitchell's.
Oh, would you believe there was a little piece of paper glued to, like, the walls were really thick in this house.
Very
so
old place,
inside the doorway was this little piece of paper, and it was, I don't know how, well, Noel must have got hold of it somehow. It was a copy of an arrest notice for Lennon.
It wasn't a copy, it was
the one, sorry.
Wow.
In either Dublin or Belfast, somewhere coming into Ireland.
He was in London.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, he'd been arrested on some
Okay.
illegal substance or something.
I was so stunned.
And he got the arrest notice framed on the wall. I thought,
he gave me a tour of his house. He had a lovely partner called Carol, but she unfortunately passed. She was killed, which was dreadful. But he was showing me around, and he had on his bed in his room a beautiful grey blanket with patterns all over it that Linda McCartney gave him.
Oh.
Yeah, I remember him making points of showing me that. Yeah, it was interesting.
Wow.
Yeah, there were good days there. I mean, the people we played with, all you wouldn't know who was going to turn up. The people from what was Thin Lizzy and Status Quo. Was that
John Coughlin?
The drummer,
he came and drummed one night.
And we had some great times. And it was the sort of place, it's a very famous place here in Ireland, called the Barras in Clonakilty.
I think if anywhere, that's where Chris will start, but we haven't talked to them.
It's a folk club, but all music's folk music.
They do know that. So I think it would be the place to go to.
Yeah, it's great. And it's a sort of place where the stage is like 6 inches high.
Yeah.
And come 10 o'clock, it's like sardines.
Oh, absolutely. One night we went there, and there's a beautiful gallery above, and we went to listen to the Elam Pipes, played by Paddy Keenan. Have you ever heard of him?
He lives in Boston. Actually.
He's a legend, playing the Elam Pipes.
Yeah.
So beautiful. That was special.
But there were some great clubs. Like in the UK, I used to different jazz clubs and things. There was one, it wasn't in Birmingham, I think it was in Wolverhampton. And I used to go there quite a bit, and there's some really cool people who used to play there. Again, it was just easy to talk to people.
Yeah, different scene.
There was another place called Mother's. I used to frequent a lot. Some big names used to go there from the States and all over. Yeah. And if you
the Marquee.
The Marquee in London. Yeah, that's a different kettle of fish.
Yeah.
Have you guys been to the UK?
What's that? I'm sorry.
Have you been to the UK?
I've never been to the UK.
We've never been to the States.
Well, we should change that sometime.
We should.
Definitely, yeah. It's a beautiful area where you live. I mean, particularly in the
really
fall
is.
and the autumn, as we call it.
It's beautiful.
It's fantastic, yeah.
Now, you folks are in France for our listening audience.
Right.
Yep. So you're broadcasting from France right now.
Oh, at the moment we're broadcasting from Ireland.
What? Really?
Yes, we are.
You're in Ireland?
We are,
yes.
Oh, wow. Okay.
we lived here a long time ago, before we left for France.
Yeah. And France is where we last spoke to you.
And then we spoke to you. Yeah, we did an interview in France, I think.
Yeah, we did.
Yes.
And that's where I did a lot of concerts there.
Mm-hmm.
And then, after about 10, we moved to Spain, which was pretty, well, it was very hot. It wasn't cool, it was very hot, and it's really hot now. And we were down in Andalusia for, a good while.
6 years, yeah.
So we're back here now.
Oh, wow. Okay. Geez, you had me jumping all over the chessboard.
Over like 15 years, yeah, I guess.
About 18 years we've been moving
but
around.
we have family here, so it made a lot of sense.
Nice.
Yeah, but we did enjoy the
Yeah.
adventures. We've had some adventures.
Vivien, are you still writing songs at this point? Are you in the process of writing new stuff? Or
I am, yes, mostly lyrics, but poetry as well. I write.
nice.
I'm really, you've got me there because I should be doing more, and I really need to switch into that part of me much more than I am at the moment, and have done for a while, with so much going on around our lives over the last few years. But it's really important to me, and I promise I will.
Because we were just about to do quite a bit of work in Spain, and then COVID
Well, yes,
hit,
absolutely.
so we were snookered for like 3 years.
Yeah, we were quite isolated there for a long time.
Yeah, we were pretty isolated. We lived in the mountains there, which was terrific.
We saw no one.
Are you still doing graphic stuff? You used to do some incredible visuals.
Yeah, I love to. We have a lot of gear for doing it, so I'm always doodling something.
Excellent.
You just can't stop doing that. But I do enjoy doing that.
We absolutely love your artwork for Guitar Auger. It's just superb.
It's beautiful,
We can't thank you enough.
Oh.
It's just, we've completely reissued, as you know, the album. It was remastered, and we added some tracks. We actually did, that's something we were working on quite a lot over the last 2 years. Taking music that Chris had written, and we'd recorded together, and actually really analysing all of the genres and putting them together in albums. And we produced has 6 albums online. So but there's a smooth jazz.
I was
rock,
I was happy with the Guitar Auger as it was, but when you keep working on the desk, and then that would be perfect for that album. I wish I'd have put that on.
Yes.
And I said to Bill, do you think we could reissue this? Take 1 or 2 things out that are not sort of working, and introduce. So that's what we did.
That's what we did. Yeah, it was a lot of hours of listening and working on that and shuffling them about. And
amazing.
It's cool stuff.
So I think
on to new stuff now.
Maybe I'd like to do something similar to Guitar Auger, because I think a lot of the style that I'm doing at the moment is very got quite an Indian influence to it.
Very world influenced.
I used to play with the guy that played didgeridoo, who was brilliant. He could play for 2 or 3 hours non-stop, and that's the circular breathing stuff. And we actually did a lot of music together and recorded an album, but we never put it out. But I love those sort of different instruments and things. I'm always listening to different stuff.
Yeah, you worked with a tabla player as well.
An Indian guy, brilliant. So nowadays, you can get the gear. I mean, I play drums myself. It's like one of the tracks on Guitar Auger is Embers of Lust.
Yeah, it's the last track.
I didn't have a full kit at the time, so all the drums are done live with like 3 or 4 different drums, and I think I had a couple of old cymbals and stuff like that. And then I used the drum machine as well. I've got 3 or 4 different drum machines which I selected sounds out of.
And you didn't have looper or a sampler at the time.
No,
so he was literally doing all those drums by hand.
I use a sampler now, but actually it's a fantastic machine. It's unbelievable, but I've not recorded anything with it yet, so I'm still getting used to it. But yeah, with the drums, like I think that I did 16 tracks of drums and then bounced it down onto 2 stereo tracks. So that's the drums on Embers of Lust, and then the guitars after that.
And always,
I've actually played that live, I think,
pretty well,
which is quite difficult.
Yeah, we played that earlier. Yeah.
We played a number of your cuts, both Vivien and Chris. We played some of your music before.
Oh, right, cool. Okay.
Yeah.
And now we have some that we can play now and then.
Yeah.
Oh, lovely. Yeah.
It's wonderful.
Yeah. So, I mean, as soon as I've got this studio sorted, it won't be long now. I should be cracking off again. But we do have a lot of ideas coming up, you know.
Yeah, I was going to say as well that Chris, the way he works, really mostly all of the music, it's just one take. It's not over there. I mean, like he might play a solo like a Step Back. That's one of my favorite tracks of his. There's a beautiful solo in that. He played it once and it was terrific.
Wow.
But he said, I'm just going to do it again. And the second one was divine, and we went with
what
that.
I like to do with most of the solos,
pretty cool.
they're done in one take, because if there's a mistake or I feel it's not working in some way, I'll do it again. I'll keep that track, but I'll do a new one. And that's the way I like to work. You know, I love the flow of it, and you know when it's working. Of course, if you make a mistake, that's it. It's just, you know, you drop it. But I'll try not to.
So your guitar playing is like being a gunslinger. You shoot from the hip and bing.
Well, yeah, I guess, I try to. It's just how things. You feel when you're playing. Different. You get different mood. A friend of mine said, when he was listening to some of my songs, he said, is that you singing? And is this you singing? Like on a different song? I said, yeah, they're all me singing. And he was a singer in a band. So I said, well, try to change my voice as much as possible to suit the song. You know, and not sing everything the same, but without being, you know, I like to sort of bring in the sound of whatever's happening or get the feel for it, you know. It's a bit like acting, I guess. You know, it's...
in a way, yes. It's interpretation of the song.
There was one song on it's a rock album we put together called 3 Day Love Down. And it's a really raunchy piece. And I sort of tried to get sort of the gravel voice on, you know, as much as possible.
Well, which you need for the blues.
Not so bad if you smoke. Well, I don't smoke, but you get the deeper voice, I guess. But so that worked, you know, it was good. It was okay. So yeah, it changed the sort of style of your voice to suit the piece, to suit the song. Yeah, I think a lot of people do that, don't they?
Yeah. Well, that's funny. Chris used to say that, didn't he? Big Daddy B.
Well, I think when I do this sort of DJ thing, just for the kids. I used to call myself Big Daddy D.
Just fooling with the kids, you know.
That was the thing. They used to love it. I used to have a lot of different voices and characters for the kids when they were growing up. You know.
That's great. Well, here at Moccasin Tracks, I'm known as Rockin' Ricky Rocket.
Oh, right. I'm Rocky Dog. Yeah, I'm Shark Fin Rocky Dog.
Oh,
that's right. That's right.
I actually bought myself some Rocket Dog pumps
Oh,
You know, the kind of the
Well, pumps in
like
America,
tennis
you'll
shoes.
think you mean high shoes, high heel
Oh
shoes.
no, that's
She means like sneakers, things,
yeah,
trainers.
yeah, like a we call like a tennis shoe a pump, you know.
yeah. Uh-huh.
Not a high heeled one. And it says Rocket Dogs on the back and on the
Yeah,
bottom.
I'm really
so
jealous
proud.
because they don't do
I love
the
it.
right size.
Yeah, that's a lot of fun.
Yeah, so we did. Yeah, I've acquired a few new guitars as well.
Pretty cool guitars.
We've got some pretty nice things. I have a really lovely Fender Strat.
I think our daughter bought that for him.
Yeah, she got it for me for my birthday. I was absolutely knocked out
Yeah.
for that.
Wow.
And what else?
She bought you a Dobro, a new National.
I got a new Dobro,
Wow.
which is really buzzing. So there might be some stuff on that. I'll
Oh,
tell
he
you.
plays the most amazing slide. It's really lovely.
So
Is your daughter still doing the equestrian stuff?
Yeah, she is big time. Yeah.
Wow, because I remember she was quite
Oh, she's
talented.
big into it. She's doing really well. She's doing dressage and all that sort of thing. And
Yeah.
she's she's winning.
She's doing
and
very
she's doing
well.
really well
Wow.
here because this is the place for it. She
Yeah,
plenty of
fantastic.
horses here.
She's doing extremely well.
Huh.
And
That's
yeah,
good
you
to
have,
hear.
Yeah, I got a couple of PRSs guitars which are beautiful. I did a lot of gigs with the first one, and it's an amazing guitar to play. It's just so it plays itself basically.
And the lad, that's extraordinary. It's a French guitar. It's an electric guitar with nylon strings.
Yeah, I saw this guy, Kazia Jones. He's from what part of Africa is he from? It's not Nigeria, is he?
Was it Kenya?
No. Anyway, he's a really sort of cool guitarist, jazz style guitarist, and he's playing this guitar. Now I've been playing gut strings guitar all my life. That's where I started really with the gut string. Nylon strings, for those who don't know what gut is, I guess. But still the old school there. So I see this guy playing this guitar, and it's in the shape of, it's in the shape like of a Fender, if you like, but with an acoustic head on it, a classical head. And I thought this is really interesting. He was got amazing sounds from it. And
beautiful sounds.
Anyway, I found out where to get one, and I did a lot of research on it for over a year, actually, trying to listen to people playing it. But it was very restricting, because a lot of people play this sort of guitar. Anyway, I did eventually get one when we moved from France to Spain, and oh man, it's something else.
On Guitar Raga now, there's a track called Shadows of Light. It's a very big favorite.
Shadows of Light is done on.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah, beautiful.
The tone you can get on it, it's just unbelievable thing.
They're very difficult to come by now.
You can't actually bend the strings because the nylon strings like a kind of steel guitar. But there's many other techniques that you can use on that. And obviously the neck fretboard is slightly thinner than a classical guitar. So you feel like you have an electric guitar in your hands, really, but you have to play it differently. And it makes you play differently. So I'm just so pleased with it. But they're difficult to get hold of now. So I think the company, obviously, because didn't sell that many, probably restricted the number of what they made,
Wow. Well, I was just, excuse me, Deb just told me we have like a couple minutes left.
Right.
And I'd like to ask you if there's anything you want to say to our listening audience or impart words of wisdom or...
Well, I think if your music is a wonderful healer to you,
For everyone.
For everyone, whether you're listening to it or creating it or just playing it for fun or whatever. I mean, I've been in some, everybody gets, down different situations, and music has always pulled me out. I mean, I was pretty sick when I was a kid with asthma and that sort of thing. And it took me away from, feeling so not so good. And it has many, many times done that when we things have been tough or whatever. So I think for people, I mean, music is fantastic, isn't it? It just brings you out. If you're an up and coming musician, just keep going with it. Don't stop playing. I think that's very important.
No. It's like
I've seen some people buy an instrument, it ends up in the wardrobe or under the bed or whatever. It's a bad idea, man. So I always say to young people, just got to keep playing. Just do it. So I don't know what you want to say.
Yes.
No, I can say like Rick, you never stop drawing.
Oh, I can't stop if I wanted to.
It's in your soul, and it's so good for you. When you're lost in that, you can
and any sort
cope
of
with anything.
Any of the arts, it just gives you freedom. It frees your mind.
Yeah.
And
believe it or not,
then,
some people call me obsessed.
Yeah.
Really?
There's nothing wrong
One
with
of them is
obsession.
Carolyn.
Oh, yeah.
Nothing wrong with an
Yeah,
obsession. In fact, I did a piece of music called Obsession.
Yeah, I'm just wondering what happened this obsession.
I can't
That's
remember.
beautiful. Thank you so much, both of you, for
Yes.
joining
Thank
us
you
You're very
today.
welcome.
It's very
We're truly
lovely.
honored
Thank you for
to
having us.
hear your stories
Yeah.
and have this conversation.
And we'll have to do this again as you progress with
Certainly.
your albums and
Yeah.
stuff.
That would be
Just
wonderful.
give us a call.
We'll
and-
keep playing your music too.
And I hope
Absolutely.
one of these days we get over to see you guys.
Yes.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
so great to see you here,
Yeah,
as a
it's
matter
fun.
of fact.
Thank you. It's
Absolutely.
an absolute delight. I love to Carolyn too.
Yeah.
Love to
Thank you very much for having
Hey,
us.
Thank you so
Take
much.
care.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
All right. Ciao.
Bye bye.